Most roadworks around Vanuatu are overseen by someone from China. And it's money from China that is paying for this, either through loans on generous terms or as aid. Nearby, a huge convention centre paid for by China is having its car park resurfaced. Across Pacific Island countries, state-linked Chinese companies are becoming increasingly active.
China's been around for a long time, but the nature of its engagement has definitely changed in the last few years, both in terms of the quantity and the diversification.
Analysts see projects like these as a way for China to win friends and, with those recipient countries' help, project its power and influence.
We continue to try to maximise the opportunities for development for our country, and also, of course, we are happy to support aspirations of our friends when they need us to support them with votes and so on in the United Nations.
There have been rumours that China wants to take its Pacific relationships further and establish a military base in a Pacific Island country. There's concern too that China could own strategically important assets if Pacific Island countries are unable to pay back the debts used to build them. Analysts in Beijing, though, dismiss such concerns.
Even if these countries are in debt to China, they can still make independent decisions. They won't listen to China just because China is their debt collector. That's very unrealistic.
Even so, the big Western power in the South Pacific, Australia, is concerned. Its Prime Minister says his country should be the partner of choice in the South Pacific.
This is the first visit by an Australian Prime Minister to Vanuatu, one of Australia's neighbours, in almost 30 years. Scott Morrison calls this part of Australia stepping up in this region. Many say it's long overdue.
Australian aid in Vanuatu is more about human than physical investment. In Port Vila, Australian paramedics are training their counterparts. But elsewhere in the Pacific, Australia, in partnership with the United States, has just announced it will establish a naval base on Papua New Guinea's Manus Island.
Can you say hand on heart that this stepping up would be happening if China's presence wasn't being felt here?
We're here because we believe in the region and always have. And we will continue to be here because we believe in the peace and prosperity and stability and independence and sovereignty of our region.
Analysts say Australia sees China's influence as a potential threat to sovereignty, independence, stability, and maybe even to peace. Which is why the battle for influence and power in the Pacific has begun. Andrew Thomas, Al Jazeera, Port Vila.